Hey Dolphins fans, buckle up, because what just went down in Miami today is about to hit every one of us right in the heart. Between unexpected diagnoses, locker room whispers, the few behind-the-scenes shockers, the course of our season might have just flipped completely. There's a medical detail no one caught, a player move that could either lighten the roster or leave it wide open. In a front office decision that's got the locker room split, which one do you think threatens Miami's future the most? You're not going to believe what we've got today, so grab a seat, drop a like, and let's dive right in. Tyreek Hill walking into Dolphins facilities with a walker. Smiling, looking tough, might have seemed like a good sign. But the truth behind that moment is a whole lot heavier. NFL Dr. David Chow broke down every step or, more like every drag of that left foot hand, called it for what it is. A red flag. The peroneal nerve injury, common with dislocated knees like Hill's, can lead to foot drop, meaning his explosiveness and agility could take a huge hit. And for a player whose entire game is built on pure speed and sharp cuts, losing even a fraction of that muscle response is like falling off a cliff competitively. The good news, if you can call it that, is there's no arterial damage. But there's ligament damage, and, more importantly, a nerve issue that could push his comeback well into 2026. Even Dr. Chow said, "I hope he recovers fast." But this is a significant injury. That one sentence echoes like a warning for everyone who thought seeing him walk meant he was out of the woods. From a strategic standpoint, losing Hill strips Mike McDaniel's offense of its engine. The plays designed to twist defenses inside out now need new hands to run them. Jalen Waddle becomes the automatic WR1, carrying the pressure of top coverage every snap. Cedric Wilson Jr., fresh off the Saints practice squad, brings familiarity, but not that vertical spark that flips games in one play. And Tua loses that boom factor, the explosive play that changes everything in seconds. Inside the locker room, motions are raw and real. Waddle called Hill's attitude inspiring, but everyone knows good vibes don't score touchdowns. The math of this season just changed. Miami's offense will have to reinvent itself, leaning more on quick reads, short crossers, and creative ground game calls to fill the hole Hill leaves behind cap-wise. Agent Drew Rosenhaus is already laying groundwork for keeping Hill in Miami in 2026. But that negotiation is going to be complicated. The numbers are tight, and the injury adds another layer. For now, McDaniel's mantra is clear. Where there's adversity, there's opportunity. That's the energy he's preaching to keep the locker room locked in. The fan base is split. Some see this as a chance to build a more balanced, team-first defense. Others see it as the start of a slow slide without Hill's threat. And to top it off, the Panthers are up next. October's shaping up to be the month we find out if this team can turn loss into fuel for a different kind of win. While all eyes are on Hill, another name is stirring tension behind the scenes. Jaelan Phillips, the first-round pick from 2021, known for his explosiveness off the edge, still hasn't shown up on the stat sheet. No sacks, no tackles for loss, no QB hits. Healthy, starting every game, but the production's missing. Is he still adjusting to full snap counts? Or has the burst that made him feared started to fade? And here's where it gets interesting. Playoff contenders are desperate for pass rush help. The 49ers, Commanders, Chiefs, and Eagles are all rumored to be in the mix. San Francisco, for example, ranks near the bottom in total pressures this year. For them, Phillips could be that spark plug, even on a short-term deal. The Dolphins front office faces a tough call. With Phillips in his contract year, trading him now could bring a 2026 draft pick, which might be more valuable than waiting for a compensatory pick in 2027. On the flip side, keeping him means betting on him regaining his 2022 Form 7 sacks and pure dominance. McDaniel knows how risky that is, especially with Phillips coming off major injuries to his Achilles and ACL. Phillips has bounced back from tough spots before. From medical retirements in college to rebirths in Miami, he's always found a way. His talent's undeniable, 15.5 sacks in his first 2 seasons, but the question remains, is it worth the financial and physical risk to keep him past 2025? Fans are arguing nonstop. Some say trading him now, especially after losing Hill, would cripple this year's hopes. Others think stacking draft assets could help rebuild depth long-term, especially if the run defense keeps struggling. Whatever happens with Phillips will tell the league exactly where Miami stands. Trade him, and it's a signal that the rebuild's already underway. Keep him, and it's a declaration that this defense still believes it can carry games and cover offensive gaps. For now, Phillips is out there every day wearing aqua and orange, grinding, waiting to prove everyone wrong. But in Miami, silence never lasts long, and this isn't even the wildest part of the day. Miami's defense has always been about fire, speed, physicality, but something's off early this season. The interior D-line, once the team's heartbeat, has been getting bullied. They're giving up 158 rushing yards per game, third worst in the league. The Jets just dropped 197 on them, right up the gut. Even McDaniel's optimism can't fully hide the concern. Yes, there are flashes. Against Buffalo, the defense clamped down in the second half, cutting the yards allowed in half. But for a unit used to dominating up front, progress on paper sounds more like consolation than correction. McDaniel sees the young guys Kenneth Grant and Jaelan Phillips learning the NFL grind, figuring out what grown man football really looks like in the trenches. That's the price of youth. Grant, the first-round pick, has raw power but still struggles with complex blocking reads. Jaelan Phillips brings leadership but limited mobility. The rotation's still finding its identity. Zach Sealer and Benito Jones can't fully fill the hole Christian Wilkins left when he walked. And speaking of Wilkins, here's where it gets juicy. His return. Cut by the Raiders before the season, he's still unsigned. When McDaniel was asked about bringing him back, his diplomatic "the door's always open" said everything. GM Chris Grier is reportedly weighing the cost-benefit of a reunion that could stabilize the rotation and spark morale in a locker room that's clearly tense. Fans went crazy the second that rumor hit. The hashtag bring back Wilkins blew up all over social media. But does it really make sense? Maybe not entirely. Bringing back a vet eats into reps for the young guys like Grant, who's supposed to be the future. Still, Wilkins brings instant leadership and emotional energy to things this team could use right now. McDaniel, walking a tightrope between rebuilding and competing. He keeps talking about steady growth, and that's the vibe right now, patience with a side of pressure. The Dolphins know no team builds greatness without pain. But they also know you can't win in January if you can't stop the run. If the interior line doesn't toughen up soon, October could be the month the season starts slipping away. Or maybe it's when the young core finally grows up and becomes Miami's biggest strength. It all depends on the next 4 weeks and the decisions being whispered through the halls of Hard Rock Stadium. What we saw today is the raw picture of a franchise walking the line between risk and glory. No Tyreek Hill. Questions around Jaelan Phillips. In a defensive front in rebuild mode, this is one of those defining moments for Miami. If they can turn chaos into chemistry, this could be the turning point of the season. But if they stumble, the cost will be steep. So I'll ask you straight up, do you still believe Miami can bounce back? Drop your take in the comments, share the video, hit subscribe, and stay tuned. Because the tide in Miami isn't done turning yet.